Remember Michael Moore's speech in 2016? I played it a lot. I played it a lot for a reason. Michael Moore didn't mean to help get Trump elected in 2016, but I think he did. Because a lot of people heard Michael Moore's message. It was part of a documentary he made. And to this day, I don't know the context with which Michael Moore was delivering the message, but he did it again yesterday. It's a warning for his side. It's a warning for progressives. It's a warning for people who call riots peaceful protests. It's a warning for people who hate capitalism. It's a warning for people who think we ought to have open borders. It's a warning for people who promise free college college tuition when everybody knows there's no such thing as free college tuition. There's nothing free. It's a warning for people who want to punish anyone who's had financial success with horrifically onerous and confiscatory taxes while letting a whole lot of people not pay any taxes at all. It's just a warning for the Democrats and for everybody trying to stop Trump. And that warning, I think those words resonated. I played it every day in 2016 leading up to the election. And then there was that kind of an outcome that shocked the world. Here's what Michael Moore said 4 years ago, because I believe these words still resonate today. In fact, in some ways, they're more apt for the time we're living in right now than we were then.
Whether Trump means it or not is kind of irrelevant, because he's saying the things to people who are hurting. And it's why every beaten down, nameless, forgotten working stiff who used to be part of what was called the middle class loves Trump. He is the human Molotov cocktail that they've been waiting for, the human hand grenade that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them. And on November 8th, Election Day, although they've lost their jobs, although they've been foreclosed on by the bank, next came the divorce, and now the wife and kids are gone. The car's been repoed. They haven't had a real vacation in years. They're stuck with the Obamacare bronze plan where you can't even get a Percocet. They've essentially lost everything they had except one thing. The one thing that doesn't cost them a cent and is guaranteed to them by the American Constitution, the right to vote. They might be penniless, they might be homeless, they might be over and up. It doesn't matter, because it's equalized on that day. A millionaire has the same number of votes as the person without a job. One. And there's more of the former middle class than there are in the millionaire class. So on November 8th, the dispossessed will walk into the voting booth, be handed a ballot, close the curtain, and take that lever, or felt pen or touchscreen, and put a big X in the box by the name of the man who has threatened to upend and overturn the very system that has ruined their lives, Donald J. Trump. They see that the elites who ruined their lives hate Trump. Corporate America hates Trump. Wall Street hates Trump. The career politicians hate Trump. The media hates Trump after they loved him and created him, and now hate him. Thank you, media. The enemy of my enemy is who I'm voting for on November 8th. Yes, on November 8th, you, Joe Blow, Steve Blow, Bob Blow, Billy Bob Blow, all the blows get to go and blow up the whole system, because it's your right. Trump's election is going to be the biggest you ever recorded in human history, and it will feel good.
Now, that was 2016, right? That's why, of course, you're hearing November 8th. This time around, it's November the 3rd. Fast forward to this election. Michael Moore is essentially saying the same thing. Yesterday, he was interviewed on a show called Rising on Hill TV. Here's what he said just yesterday.
Trump has tightened virtually every one of these swing states. Listen, don't believe these polls. The Trump vote is always being undercounted. Pollsters, when they actually call a real Trump voter, the Trump voter is very suspicious of the deep state calling them and asking them who they're voting for. Whatever they're saying the Biden lead is, cut it in half right now in your head. Cut it in half and now you're within the 4-point margin of error. That's how close this is. That's how desperately close this is.
That was yesterday. That's Michael Moore this time around. And you know, when I listen to that speech from 2016 about the despair that people have to encounter with a message of doom and negativity. Here was Biden yesterday in Tampa while Trump had a rally with the First Lady in front of thousands of people outside Raymond James Stadium. Biden had a handful of cars at the state fair, I guess the Tampa, I don't know, the state fairgrounds. He keeps talking about the dark winter. Biden it was so depressing. And I just don't I don't accept the premise that Americans are willing to vote for this. Think about the Michael Moore words when you hear Biden last night here in the Tampa Bay area.
Well, these past few months have been so much pain, so much suffering, so much loss. Over 225,000 dead Americans because of the negligence and the consequence of COVID.
Now, we all feel pain and grief over the loss of life all over the world. But normal people don't blame a worldwide pandemic on an American president. Normal people don't, translate that rage they feel about Trump and his personality and all of that and turn it into he killed 225,000 people. But that's what they're saying. That's literally what they're saying, that Trump did this. And if Trump should have done something he didn't do, I'd give anything to know what it is. The mask mandate? How about the countries like Spain and Italy? They've had a mask mandate. The virus is surging. We all know that. How about the countries that have locked down? Still surging. This is a virus. And Mark Meadows was right. One of the most profound things ever said was we're learning to live with the virus. Biden mocked that. Biden shot that down and mocked that and said that the Trump team is trying to make people learn to die with the virus. Everything's just wordsmiths. It's just a how to game it, how to use talking points, how to turn a horrific worldwide pandemic into political talking points. And it's shameful. It's a lot of shameful stuff, but there's a lot of reason to be, excited.